So what in the world is the FMCSA currently working on? Well, here are some news articles that I've found over the last couple of weeks that I'd like to share with you. Well, the FMCSA is currently launching a study on sexual assault in trucking. The second thing they're working on is cracking down on predatory towing companies. Now, if you haven't seen my video on how I got charged $62,000 for an 18-mile tow, you need to watch that because that's something that they're working on. The third really important thing that's happening a lot in our industry right now is fraud. So the FMCSA has put together a step-by-step guide in order to reduce fraud risk. And the last thing, FMCSA has taken on fraud concerns in new CDL testing rules. So we'll get into these 4 topics. All right, so the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration is launching a study to investigate sexual assault within the trucking industry. Here are some of their main points. So it's no secret that there are more and more women that are entering into the industry of trucking, and we would like to make it a very safe place for them, where in a lot of cases they don't feel safe. So the first thing is putting together a study, and the initiative aims to address and investigate incidents of sexual assault involving truck drivers. We have hired in the past and do have a part of our fleet female truck drivers, and there are some incidents that they've ran into, whether they're at truck stops or in rural areas, where these female truck drivers have experienced or felt unsafe in their work. So that's one of the things that the FMCSA is currently trying to work on. First, they need to identify the problems, and that's why this study is put together, and then they're probably going to put something in place. What they would like to do is create a safe environment for everybody, okay? So men and women and employees feel safe in their workplace. The goal is to enhance the overall safety and security within the trucking industry by addressing and preventing incidents of sexual assault. Next topic, FMCSA calls out sham towing fees charged to truck drivers. This has happened to me a couple of times, where a towing company, after an accident or after an incident, towing company comes in without your approval, without your consent. They just tow away your truck and your trailer. A lot of the times that trailer has cargo in it. Now, nobody's releasing that truck or trailer or the cargo until the invoice is paid by the insurance company. There are outrageous fees that I went through in a detailed video over here on how I got charged about $62,000 for an 18-mile tow. Everything was out of my control, and I really couldn't do anything, and I was amazed by how the insurance company could not do anything about it either. They could basically make up whatever they want. So the FMCSA is trying to crack down on it, and they are addressing fraudulent towing fees charged to truckers in the trucking industry. The agency is concerned about the prevalence of deceptive practices related to towing services targeting commercial truck drivers. Why commercial truck drivers? Because usually that truck is out of state, out of province. So you have a truck from Winnipeg in Ontario, you have a truck from Ontario in New Brunswick, and they basically could just do whatever they want. All right, so the agency aims to protect truckers from exploitative practices and create awareness about the problem. The focus is on promoting a fair and honest relationship between towing services providers and the commercial truck drivers. All right, so the next thing that the FMCSA is working on is the Freight Broker's Guide to Spotting Freight Fraud. So this is a huge problem in our industry right now. A lot of fake email addresses, a lot of people pretending to be somebody that they're not. They're getting their information from somewhere and they're pretending to be somebody they're not. They're booking loads when they're not actually the carrier. There's a lot of fraud happening and a lot of double brokering happening. So the article emphasizes the growing concerns of double brokering and suggesting establishing clear communication channels and comprehensive tracking systems to combat this fraudulent practice. Again, when you're booking a load, please just make sure that the email address that it comes from is not ettransport@gmail.com or ettransport123@gmail.com. They're extremely creative with what they're doing when they're brokering and double brokering your freight, and these fraud companies pretending to be you. So somebody pretending to be ET Transport might take a load from TQL or from CH Robinson, but it wasn't us that actually took the load. They are pretending to be us. Somehow they got a hold of our carrier packet and they're trying to book loads and steal loads within the industry. The FMCSA has put a detailed checklist on what you can do in order to avoid getting into a situation of double brokering. All right, and the last thing we'll talk about is the FMCSA takes on fraud concerns and new CDL testing rule. FMCSA introduces a new CDL testing rule to address fraud concerns. The rule is designed to enhance the integrity of the CDL testing process and reduce fraudulent activity related to obtaining commercial driver's licenses. It includes measures to prevent cheating, such as stricter identification verification and enhanced security protocols during the testing procedures. So that is another thing that I found that they are working on. All right, so the FMCSA is working on some great things. I am going to be following them closely on what they're going to be working out throughout the course of 2024, so make sure you're following this channel. We'll hopefully learn something from this video. I'm Ronen, and I'll catch you in my next video.